Good evening and welcome, friends and families of the class of 2020. We come together tonight, virtually, to celebrate the growth and perseverance the students of the class of 2020 have modeled for the past 12 years. While we would all prefer to be in person tonight, nothing can diminish how proud I am of the class of 2020 and how they have persevered on their path to this moment. We often hear about challenges and how they make us stronger, whether those challenges are physical, intellectual, social, or emotional. Regardless of whether we ask for them or not, challenges produce growth and an ability to attack the next curveball life throws at us. I believe challenges make us stronger, which means, class of 2020, you are among the strongest to graduate from Spring Lake Park High School. Last year, we leaned into and worked through the tragic and unexpected loss of our friend and classmate, Tim Nguyen. We got through that together and learned how important it is to have the support of others. And we also learned it is okay to be vulnerable. Then, the spring of your senior year was dramatically and unexpectedly influenced by COVID-19 and a stay-at-home order, which impacted many cherished senior year traditions, like live commencement ceremonies. However, I and all the staff at the high school have truly missed having daily in-person interactions with you, and we regret the things we have not been able to do together this spring. We did not ask for these challenges, but in them, we found support from and appreciation for each other. Author Joshua J. Marine says, "Challenges are what make life interesting. Overcoming them is what makes life meaningful." Class of 2020, you are overcomers, and you are strong. A commencement ceremony is a recognition of one of life's chapters ending and an exciting new chapter beginning. As you write the next chapters of your life, I know you will draw on the experiences, knowledge, skills, and strength you gained from the staff and students at Spring Lake Park High School. I'm a parent of 2 high school graduates who are now in college, and watching them, I can say with confidence to you, the next chapter in your life is even more fulfilling than the previous chapters, if you embrace the challenges that life presents in your path, and remember that overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. The 19th century author and theorist Wallace Wattles contended, the very best thing you can do for the whole world is to make the most of yourself. Spring Lake Park High School class of 2020, I implore you to embrace the challenges along your journey and continue to extract meaning and growth from every circumstance or challenge it offers you. Never stop striving to become the next best iteration of yourself. You are awesome, you matter, and you have so much to offer this world, but that will require you to never stop growing and developing as a learner, as a friend, as a family member, as a colleague, and as a person. I, your teachers, and your family are proud of you, and we can't wait to see what you will accomplish next. Congratulations, Spring Lake Park High School, class of 2020. You make us proud. Congratulations. And now, I'm honored to share the stage, or screen, with 3 of the excellent examples of talent that represents the class of 2020. Our student commencement speakers this evening are Nadine Musa, Reese Wenholz, and Francisca Dogby. Our first speaker this evening, please welcome Nadine Musa.
Practicing my speech last night made me realize life is filled with many challenges, few of which, unlike the speech, can be solved with a copious amount of Googling and a Beyonce playlist. I was going to start off this speech with the phrase "we made it," but I figured that'd be a bit basic. So instead, I'm going to begin by reading the definition of perseverance from the Webster Dictionary, because I'm not like other girls. Perseverance is defined as a continued effort to do, or wait, I'm just joking. I'm not starting off my speech like that. In preparation for the speech, I did a lot of research. I did a deep dive on Twitter, I scrolled through Facebook, I perused Pinterest, I even consulted Wikipedia. Look, I know you guys are saying, Nadine, why these sources? Let me tell you, if there's anything I've learned from my 4 years of language arts, it's quantity over quality. So after hours on Reddit, what I gathered is when it comes to writing graduation speeches, your best bet is to avoid cliches, like the plague. That made sense, but it made me think. In English class, we are warned not to touch banal platitudes with a 10-foot pole because they're boring and expected. But in real life, we crave the conventional. From a young age, in the words of from a young age, we're socialized, in the words of Anna Airedale, to rely on certain certainties. For example, if you go to Zumba once, you'll get a six-pack. It's guaranteed. If you go to White Castle, actually, don't go to White Castle. Trust me. If you watch the 2004 films Robots, instead of studying for your calc test on Taylor McLaurin series, you won't do very well. Again, speaking in generalities, of course. Basically, what I'm saying, life is filled with certainties. There'll be thousands of things that'll go as planned. But what happens when we're faced with the unexpected? How do you cope when your senior year is derailed by a global pandemic? What are you supposed to do when your best friend isn't here to experience this amazing moment? Unfortunately, the answers to these questions aren't on Slader. I checked. So how exactly are we supposed to deal with heartbreak and setback? In the summer of my sophomore year, I got my first job as a lifeguard. I was so excited. Despite my enthusiasm, I was objectively terrible. However, it still stung the day my boss called me in to clear out my locker. She loved my personality, but ultimately she had to let me go because my skills weren't up to par. So begrudgingly, I traded my sexy red suit for a pair of serviceable, ugly khakis. I spent the rest of the summer in the concession stand. Although deep frying corn dogs was not what I meant when I said I want a hot girl summer, I learned a lot that summer. I learned that you cook hot dogs to an internal temperature of 165 degrees. I learned that you never need more than 2 scoops of ice cream. But more importantly, I learned that I'm really good with people. It was this realization that galvanized me to run for positions like student council president and house leader. Initially, I was extremely nervous about sharing this story, but ultimately that experience shaped me to the person who I am today. If I hadn't gotten the pink slip, I don't think I'd ever push for any roles in leadership. Class of 2020, we know more than anyone that life is super unpredictable and things don't always work out the way we want them to. It's inevitable that crappy situations will happen and we can't always make the best out of them. But you know what? We can learn and grow and be more prepared for whatever the future throws at us. Initially, I was vehemently against using any trite remark in this speech unironically, but I figured there's one cliche I can make an exception for. Class of 2020, although the last few months were the embodiment of what the heck, oh baby, we made it.
Thank you, Nadine Musa. Now, please join me in welcoming our second speaker, Reese Wenholz.
Hello, Spring Lake Park High School class of 2020, friends, family, and everyone else. And thank you so much for being here to celebrate the class of 2020's graduation. Believe it or not, but the pinnacle of my high school career was because of a mandarin orange. Okay, let me explain. It was an average day at the lunch table in 10th grade. My friends and I were having our normal conversations as usual, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw it. The juicy orange piece of flesh held by my then acquaintance, Philson Isaac. And I asked, Philson, why are you jiggling a mandarin orange? And everyone laughed and posted the moment to their Snapchat stories like we all do. Philson and I constantly laugh about it to this day as we are best friends now. I especially like to attribute our strong friendship to that simple and interesting story. Who would have thought that such a perfectly timed quote in such a random moment would entertain and satisfy us so much? Who would have thought that it would turn into such a real story? One of the many that I still look back on today to find the joys of life when I'm down. One that never fails to intrigue me. One that I use in the introduction to my commencement speech. But from this, I learned 3 main things. How we make stories, why we make stories, and the actual importance of them. But it's not just me recounting these stories, it's all of us, constantly. As we speak to others and have important dialogues, we are not only recounting stories, but we are also making them. In every single action we take, a story is being synthesized. Every action, every movement, every word. That time you bombed a test, a story. That time you fought with your friends, a story. As much as we like to talk about the positives, there is no doubt that the negatives consume us too. The entire class of 2020 has endured a really tough 4 years. We have collectively faced defeat, failure, threatening moments, and immense losses. Things that have to be unfortunately added to our storybook. But in these, we still persist. We still come together as a strong, supportive community that tries its best to lift each other up, to listen to each other, and to advocate for each other. Now that's something positive to add to our storybook. But why do we even recount stories? Well, to learn. Something that this institution has helped us do and helped us gain the skills to do. In English class, we quite literally learn about and tell the stories of our great literary heroes and heroines, how they have impacted their settings and have impacted us. In social studies, we recount the tales of how our country was founded, the great people who live here, and those who came in search of a better life. We learn the ups and downs of our society, from pioneering successes to horrific struggles. Stories give us inspiration in times of hardship and reflection in times of conflict. And we learn from these stories, but sometimes we don't. Sometimes we see the stories that we studiously analyzed as an example of what not to do come back to haunt our everydays. We constantly see the vicious cycle of hatred towards those that are different than us, those who have a different amount of melanin in their skin, those who may have come to America in search of a better future, those at different socioeconomic levels, those who love someone different than you, believe different than you, live their lives different than you. But Spring Lake Park and the wonderful community around me taught me to deeply understand the struggles and barriers that these disenfranchised communities face. I was taught empathy, compassion, love. I was taught to compare my stories to the stories of others in search of a deeper understanding of those around me, to find our common, shared humanity. Something everyone should be striving to do every single day. Also, realize that learning and the creation of stories is not just something that we do at school. When you are living your everyday life, try to remember that you are creating a story that you can look back on when you are sad, happy, or just reminiscing. A story that you can look back at for inspiration, or a story that you can learn and grow from. So, what I'm saying is that we all need to find the value of stories. We need to understand that they are integral parts of the book that we call life. We have to start telling more of them, and understanding that we are making valuable ones every second. But that also comes with great responsibility. It's making sure that we are careful with our words and actions so that we don't hurt others. Our goal is to create more good stories than bad ones. And with this, Class of 2020, as we take this giant leap into the professional and academic world, I implore you to tell stories with all of your heart. Continue to positively impact your community, no matter where that is or who is a part of it. Understand that you are making important stories and you should celebrate that, because stories achieve a common humanity among us. They are what make us love, feel, and empathize. They are what make us human and one. Simply put, value stories and value each other. So, I'll leave it up to you to make this very moment, at this very graduation ceremony, another amazing story in the book of our lives. And I cannot wait to see the stories that we create. Thank you.
Thank you, Reese Wenholz. And now, please join me in welcoming our third and final student speaker, Francisca Dogby.
Welcome, parents, administrators, faculty, classmates. Class of 2020, we are officially here. I know, usually during a graduation ceremony, you walk onto the stage, you receive your diploma, you walk off the stage, wait for everyone else to receive their diplomas, throw your caps in the air, party, and continue with your life journey. This year is different. Our graduation has gone virtual. Even though we are leaving things behind, such as no more garlic cheese bread days, or being annoyed at people standing in the middle of the hallway when you're trying to get to class, we are now entering the new world with our experience. All I can say is, I won't miss walking from A building to C building in 5 minutes. We are going off into the world and are officially starting our lives. If you told me freshman year that high school was gonna fly by, I would not have believed you. Now looking back as a senior, time flies by quickly. We were the first class that was born after the tragedy of 9/11, and now we are about to graduate during a worldwide pandemic. Well, that's a first. We managed to do our work and graduate even though our environment was uncertain and challenging. Looking back on everything that we have learned, The biggest life lesson we have encountered was that we are a family. Like it or not, the class of 2020 is a family. And yes, family may not always get along, but it does not make us any less of a family. Our family, our community, has been through unspeakable tragedies. We have known the depths of pain and have suffered more than we need to at our age. And even though we are being sent off today into the next phase of our lives, we have a home here. A home we can always come back to. Home is not just where you happen to be born, but it is the place where you become yourself. Our connections, love, friendships, and even disagreements are all factors in what makes a home. When I first moved to America, I did not know or have anyone. Then I met most of you in the first grade. This community took me in and made me feel like I was part of a family, and that is something I will never forget. You guys became my home. We have learned to come together and support one another in times of need, something no other class has had to endure. Our home may not be physical, but it is emotional and runs deep. Despite all of what this family has gone through, we did not give up. We have become an example for other grades to emulate. We, the class of 2020, are going to be different. People will look up to us and see how strong we really are. Our legacy is going to be unforgettable. We are the class that made it against all odds. We have learned many lessons. We have created trust, and most importantly, we have created an environment that supports one another, loves on one another, and has something in common with everyone. As we celebrate this particularly important moment, I am reminded of a particular classmate of ours who is no longer with us. Tim left us a legacy. He taught us to not take things for granted, and also that we have to live our lives to the fullest. And while some of us may grieve to this day, we have to remember that our lives are going to continue, and it is important that we do not take it for granted. So, I leave you with this one piece of advice. Go off into the world and live your life with passion and purpose. Take all of your life experiences with you, both personal and with this family. It is now your time and turn to set an example for other generations to follow. It is up to you to decide if you want your legacy to have a positive impact. We made it! I had to say it. I am proud of each and every one of you, and most importantly, our families and the amazing faculty that gave us their all to get us to this moment. Thank you. We could not have done it without you. My graduating family, stand up and be counted. Set the world off on a different path. Congratulations, class of 2020, and may your future be filled with success, influence, and greatness. Thank you.
Greetings to our graduating seniors and their families, friends, and neighbors, as well as the many staff who are joining us. I am Jeff Ronneberg, Superintendent of Schools, and I am honored to present the Class of 2020 for graduation. So, Class of 2020, you did not expect to have a virtual component to your graduation experience. None of us did. It puts into stark perspective one thing we all know for sure. The only constant is change. The world is a very different place than it was when you, our graduates, entered kindergarten. While at 18, it may seem forever ago to you, as a dad of a graduating senior this year, it does not seem that long ago. In that time since kindergarten, your parents and family have walked with you as you have experienced a whole variety of changes in the world. However, a few of those changes, if any, have impacted you more than what you have navigated since we left for spring break in early March, when COVID-19 changed our plans. With that in mind, it is important to note that it is not the content you learned in high school, the cool facts and the useful stats, that will lead you to your future success. It is really the lessons you have learned about yourself that will be essential, about how you learn, and about how to adapt to and embrace change within and beyond your influence, just as you have had to do in recent months, a senior year experience that you uniquely share with your fellow 2020 graduates. Each year, there are 3 pieces of advice I share with the graduating class. This year, even during a global pandemic, they hold true, so I offer them to you. First, be humble and curious. My grandfather was a man I greatly admired, and there was a message that he often shared with me. Ask questions. You'll never get through life if you try to do it all yourself. No one achieves success in isolation. The successful individual is curious enough and humble enough to know that there is always more to learn. The second piece of advice, demonstrate integrity in all that you do. I had a favorite teacher and coach myself when I was in high school who repeatedly shared a quote, first espoused by the legendary basketball coach John Wooden. Doing the best you are capable of is victory in itself. Anything less is defeat. That is how I define integrity, doing all you are capable of to be successful, no matter how small your task may seem. It is not about being perfect. It is about doing the best that you can. And ultimately, only you, when you look in the mirror, truly knows if your effort is a victory or a defeat. And knowing makes all the difference in the world, to you and to the world you will impact. And the third piece of advice, be appreciative. Even when we give our very best effort, we need the support and even a push from those who surround us. Take the time to recognize and appreciate the support others provide for you. You each have someone who has made a difference for you, who has supported you in getting to this important milestone, and who is always rooting for you. Parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, brothers and sisters, and of course, your outstanding teachers and school staff. Please take the time to say thanks. You will never regret sharing appreciation, and it will come back to you tenfold. So 3 simple principles: be humble and curious, demonstrate integrity in all that you do, and be appreciative. Regardless of the changes, the challenges, and the opportunities you face, the learning from them will serve you well. The world awaits you, and I wish each of you the very best as you set out to change and improve it. So now, along with the members of the Spring Lake Park Schools School Board, and on behalf of the staff of Spring Lake Park High School, and with the power vested in me by the state of Minnesota and the Spring Lake Park Schools, I now certify the Spring Lake Park High School Class of 2020 for graduation. Congratulations to all of our graduates.
Zain Abdallah, Mohammed Abdalal, Hanan Abdallah, Hussein Abdi, Sadiq Abdullahi, Safwan Abdullahi, Brendan Abramson, Lauren Abramson, Sundus Abshur, Kimberly Aguilar, Hodan Ahmed, Khalid Ahmed, Suheb Ahmed, Reese Axtetter, Isra Al-Malaki, Zara Al-Obeidi, Lindsay Albers, Lindsay Alguire, Samaya Ali, Brittany Amador Sanchez, Arslan Amir, Eric Amundsen, Hannah Anderson, Sophia Anderson, Sydney Anderson,
Megan Andrews, Carly Andrusko, Jonathan Antel, Joshua Archibald, Diana Arpista Galan, Saeed Arredondo, Amos Ayari, Sade Ayodele, Nicole Bake, Patrick Baker, Grace Barstow, Kayla Barton, Jacob Bassett, Jared Bauer, Leanna Bauer, Maggie Bauman, Tori Beams, Jacob Beecher, Braden Belk, Isaac Bentrock, Elliot Binsfeld, Dari Bowling, Jamie Morocho, Eric Bratch, Rachel Brody, Bree Brogel,
Olivia Brower, Hannah Boudreau, Ella Buzak, Autumn Campbell, Nathan Campbell, Prince Canna, Natalie Cardoso Flores, Alexa Carlson, Anne Carmine, Paige Kerrigan, Tristan Cartwright, Michaela Castillo, Nermina Sahik, Amos Cham, Quincy Chanthanavong, Gage Chase, Michelle Cho, Alexander Clark, Adam Clausen, Olivia Clayson,
Aaron Clough, Cameron Cook, Blaine Cooper, Tamara Cooper, Madeline Crampton, Madeline Curtis, Anthony D'Angelo, Alex Daly, Gray Daniels, Erica Davis, Alexander Dawkins, Dominic Diamond, Kayla Devine, Francisca Dogby, Emina Dragonjic, Leo Drew, Jason Ducharme, Zachary Dunbar, Brandon Edom, Alan Ekamizi, Cody Eliason, Swad Ferrara, Nail Gran Fernandez, Zachary Fields, Everett Figgins, Caesar Figueroa,
Amy Fleck, Catherine Fort, Kyle Foster, Jediah Friege, Abigail Furlano, Zachary Gabbert, Nicholas Gable, Yusra Galal, Juliad Galvin Arias, Gerardo Garcia Rojas, Corinne Geist, Sarah Jeanette, Anthony George, Serenus George, Olivia Gerard, George Gerard, Demetrius Gibbs, Husam Gaith, Sophia Glanz, Yuretsi Gonzalez Jimenez, Aaliyah Gordon, Noah Granby, Tristan Green, Stephanie Ha, Brandon Haggard, Yusuf Haji,
Janan Hamed, Khalid Hassan, Hannah Headland, Ben Hagee, Jenna Henry, Curtis Herbert, Evan Herman, Rosa Hernandez Maldonado, Logan Hermeyer, Lexi Hershey, Tony Nat, Nicole Hoffmeyer, Caden Holmquist, Maxwell Horn, Alexandra Howe, Cameron Hunter, Thomas Huso, Anna Hutton, Annie Huynh, Kylie Icarella, Ahmed Ibrahim, Kiera Iverson, Maya Blake, JC Lang,
Sahan Jabril, Haley Jacobs, Lillian Jacobs, Jeratu Jallo, Hafso Jama, Selma Jama, Emma Jansen, Julia Jarkow, Alina Jazz, Abigail Johnson, Shavela Johnson, Wyatt Johnson, Keely Johnston, Juliana Jordan, Peter Jasul, Jordan Juniel, Farina Khalil, Keegan Kaminsky, Madeline Campa, Sarah Kaplan, Ty Keys, Clinton Camus, Momin Khan,
Madison Klobeck, Faith Knoppel, Alexander Knudsen, Devin Corey, Kayla Kraus, Samuel Crupton, Ellie Kukelka, Emmanuel Cooley, Riley Kuntz, Marvin Lehman, Joseph Lassegard, Julia Levon, Sarah Lincoln, Heidi Levichusta Vihab, Colby Los, Sierra Longi, Anaya Lore. Daisy Lore. Quentin Lovett. Elena Lucas. Catherine Luna. Jerron Megstead. Betsy Maldonado Martinez. Andrew Malthaler. Sarah Martin. Katie Martinez Ortez.
Grace Mason. Maddie Mayon. Philip McFalls. India Naini. Dione Mameti. Kene Meinke. Tala Miko. Austin Miller. Logan Miller. Amal Mohammed. Hamza Mohammed. Omar Mohammed. Sumaya Mohammed. Yahi Mohammed. Zainab Mohammed. Bashir Mohamud. Safi Mohammed. Wendy Mankata Vitel. Samantha Mondragon Ortiz. Travis Money. Tyler Moody. Kendrick Morton. Heidi Musa. Peyton Moy. Hana Muijic.
Aiden Mulvaney. Maddie Murphy. Nadine Musa. Gabriel Mirren. Kendall Mirvold. Anna Nestoruk. Andrew Nguyen. Catherine Nguyen. Don Nguyen. Henry Nguyen. Hope Nielsen. Ashley Ninau. Phoebe Neihart Arango. Elizabeth Northquest. Alexander Noyes. Katharina O. Bradley Olkers. Aisha Okanola. Isabel Olson. Sumia Olson. Brian Oriana Lopez. Alyssa Osborne. Lena Osman. Brooks Owen. Jordan Owens Williams. UDA, Page.
Tanner Payne, Anna Pearson, Kaylin Pecha, Leonel Penaloza, Nancy Perez, Brian Perez Cortez, Henley Peterson, Theodore Phillips, Madison Pick, Derek Pioski, Evan Poppy, Morgan Preston Rumble, Neil Price, Nathan Persibula, Vincent Purrington, Stanley Putnam, Corinne Putz, Asia Cavedid, Austin Quantz, Jocelyn Ramos, Pitamber Rampersad, Nurminka Ramulik, Noor Rafaya, Jillian Reiners, Joel Revas Reyes,
Blake Remy, Emmanuel Reynolds, Taryn Richard, Jada Richardson, Sean Riley, Kieran Ripkin, Joshua Rivera, Pilar Rivera, Austin Roberts, Darius Robinson, Lida Rodriguez Aragon, Connor Rogozinski, Eric Ross, James Ross, Josiah Roosh, Jonah Rufino, Karina Ruiz, Owen Rumpka, Haley Rupar, Abdurrahman said, Zachariah said, Abdirahman Sela, Shay Sample, Chris Sanchez Delgado, Jacob Say, Cameron Sayedith,
Keona Jackson Smith, Kaylin Schmanda, Elijah Shonrock, Ryan Schultz, Quincy Ship, Michael Shivers, Mikkel Sibley, Jesse Sills, Bronwyn Simmons, Ashton Singer, Jason Sinitson, Tyler Skelly, Denasia Smith, Elena Smith, Eric Smith, Kaylee Snyder, Britta Solheim, Raul Solorio, Joshua Stambaugh, Alexi Stefani, Trevor Stewart, Mackenzie Stone, Madeline Stroman, Brooklyn Stubblefield, Lily Susick, Grace Swanson, Sydney Semenkowicz,
Ty Chavez, Elizabeth Cabanzo Uriostegui, Joel Tulso, Melia Tan, Devin Taylor, Deborah Tefera, Jenna Terrio, John Terrio, Simon Tewald, Benjamin Tice, Terrell Thompson, Donald Toner, Margarita Torres, Brian Tran, Kelly Tran, Zachary Turnbull, Andrew Ullman, Josh Unger, Riley Unruh, Yamile Urzua Stadio, Aaron Vang, Ali Vang, Dominic Vang, Tommy Vang, Margarita Ventura Flores, Jalen Vidal Cabanzo, Peyton Violette, Tammy Vo, Emma Wida, Caleb Walden,
William Walker, Jacob Ward, Sarah Warner, Aya Was, Santa Was, Reese Wenholtz, Madeline Wennerberg, Joseph Wan, Naomi Wan, Allison Wilcox, Ethan Wojan, Michaela Wood, Matthew Wynia, Ben Zhang, Panuku Zhang, Annalie Yang, Kayla Yang, Kenshin Yang, Jacob Zahn, Cameron Zamuda, Jasmine Zamuda,
Thank you all for joining us. It is now my honor to present to you Spring Lake Park High School's graduating class of 2020. Congratulations.